What's up, everybody? Axe Wizard here, back with another recap video for my adventures in Lord of the Rings Online. Day 3, huge success. I had a blast. There's a lot to go over, but I'll try to condense it down. So I made it out of Skorgrim's tomb. I detailed that on the Day 2 recap. That was a whole fiasco. But once I got on the ground in front of Thorin's Hall, I was able to learn about a few things. So I picked up the next, I guess, main story quest, you could say, to go talk to some guy, Guard Captain Unar or something like that. I guess he was looking for me, but I'm not sure why he would even know who I am. But I don't know. It seems like, again, some time has passed since the whole Skorgrim's tomb dealio, even though it seems like just a mere minutes to me, right? So that is interesting because like the whole zone changed, which I found out later on. But so I started that quest, I picked up some side quests, and then I was introduced to a whole bunch of the like other systems, such as like the milestones, mail, reputation, deeds, hobbies, all this different stuff, right? And I was feeling a bit overwhelmed, but most of them were just like, you know, go talk to somebody in Thorin's Hall. So I was like, okay, I'll make my way there eventually. I ended up talking to Guard Captain Unar. He's basically saying, hey, there's an armory that's unguarded. Some guy named Vithar's over there, and, you know, I haven't heard from him. What's going on? Better go find out what's going on. So I went over to the armory. I found Vithar was basically knocked out. And then I shredded some loot, played some Breaking the Law. I don't know how this could have happened, and on my shift. I feel bad for you, buddy. Tell you what, let me play you a song. So, this is one I like to call Breaking the Law. Wait, no, I messed it up. Yeah, there we go. No, I messed it up. There you go. That's as good as you're gonna get, buddy. So after I was having fun with that shenanigans, I was doing the other side quests. It mostly involved just going to like the different mines and cavern instances I had been to before, like taking out some more of the crawlers or whatever the heck they're called, the guys with the big old claw beak. I don't know what they're called. I forgot already. Just take out some more of those guys. You know, fetch quests like go, this guy's trying to repair a dam or something, and so he needed some mortar, so I needed to find some rocks, some gypsum, and some sand so he could make it happen. So I did that. Found some guy's pickaxe, so I gave that back to him. Did those side quests, and then I discovered there's a difficulty quest that you can choose the difficulty. And this was amazing because in my first and second playthrough, like my first and second play sessions, I was like, you know, this is really easy. I kind of want some more danger in the world, because one of the things that drew me to classic WoW is that starting at level 1, well, really, realistically, like starting at like level 2 or 3, right? The world is dangerous. And if you pull too many mobs, you will die. And, you know, if you go into a cavern or whatnot, if you go into a cave and there's monsters that are patrolling and there's respawns, you could die easily. And I miss that feeling, because in Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO that I guess I still am playing it. I am playing. There's no danger in the world. Everything is just, you are the hero and you are able to do everything, and there's no danger in the world. And so it just kind of feels like going through the motions. And outer world questing is just, it's more for story than for engaging combat experience. Most of the time, the enemies don't even last long enough to like even practice your rotation on them. So there's just no danger in the overworld. And that's what I was feeling with Lotro, is that, oh my God, I can two-shot most of these mobs. Like they don't do any damage to me. Even if I aggro them, walk away, and then come back, my character will have killed them auto-attacking with my dagger before they even got me to like 7/8 health. Like, it was nuts. So I found a difficulty quest giver who gave me a quest to basically choose my difficulty level of the outer world, which is awesome. So immediately, it gave me, I think, 9 different choices. So immediately I picked difficulty 9, which I think is like heroic +2, whatever that means. And I went out straight away. I did notice a difference at first because I hadn't turned in the quest. And then once I turned it on, I think I fought like a level 5 or something. And I was level 8 at the time, and it got me to like quarter health. So I was like, okay, this is a lot more dangerous. I like this. So I tried it out for a bit, and then I decided to crank the difficulty down a little bit. So I dropped it from difficulty 9 to difficulty 6, which I believe is fearless +3. I don't know what that means, but apparently unlocking these deeds, which are sort of like... best way I could think of it is like sort of achievements, right? You get various things for doing these deeds. And so I think some of the deeds are obtained like 50th level while above difficulty 6 or something like that. So I'm just going to rock difficulty 6. And while I was doing that, I had to go like fight through this goblin cave. And this was cool because some of the monsters pulled in packs. So like there'd be 2 goblins and I would attack one, and then of course both of them would come. And then if I got unlucky with a respawn, or sometimes there's even, I think, guys that were wandering around, I got up to like 3 once and I died. But I was able to handle 2 pretty... not comfortably, but I was able to do it. And the reason why I say not comfortably is because sometimes there'd be some really awkward lag spikes to where I'd be like, oh my God, if I don't get this heal off, I'm going to die. But thankfully, it almost seems like my enemies lag too, which is kind of nice. So it's like a double-edged sword in a way. So... Whew, it was fun. I had a blast just even going through with this, the cave I've been through, I think 2 or 3 times now for various other things. Fighting some goblins. There's now goblins in there. And I think they were levels 5 and 6. And I was level 8. And I was struggling. And that's exciting. So another exciting thing is once I got all that stuff done, I have enough quests basically pointing me to go to Thorin's Hall, which is like the major city, I guess, nearby. And so I finally go, and it's this big old dwarven cavern city. It's awesome. And I got sidetracked. I think I turned in like 1 or 2 of the quests. I hit up the bank, threw a bunch of these random consumable things that I got that I'm probably never going to use, just in the bank for now, because I hate consumables because I always forget to use them. And these are all ones I get from, like, it seems like it's pay to win stuff. Like you can keep buying more of it if you want. I don't know that, but it's stuff you get from, I don't know. I just have all these random buffs that I'm like, oh, double my morale for like an hour. Okay, I guess I could use that for when poopy hits the fan maybe, but I'm just going to bank it for now, and I'm going to do my best to get by without that stuff. I might save it for instances. I don't know if those buffs apply in instances or whatnot, but we'll see. I'm just gonna I just banked them for now. And then I got sidetracked learning about crafting. And I think I spent probably about a half hour, like, or actually an hour, just derping around with the crafting stuff. And so I picked up, it doesn't really tell you what each profession does. I mean, you can kind of intuit it or infer based on the job. Like, oh, woodworking is probably going to be making anything with wood, right? Okay, well, what is that? Does that make shields? Does that make like bows or magic staffs? Or does it make instruments for my minstrel? I don't know. So I decided to go with a safe bet because my minstrel is only allowed to wear light armor right now. I don't know if I can train medium armor in the future or what, but I figured tailoring would be the way to go. I think it was called tailoring. I'm still thinking like in terms of World of Warcraft. So it's basically tailoring. It's sort of like tailoring and leatherworking in one, but it allows you to make light armor and also medium armor. And right away, I was able to make a few massive upgrades. Like, the armor I got is crap, but the stuff I was able to make, pretty nice. And while I was out just killing a bunch of bears and stuff offline because I wanted to play the game, but I didn't really want to progress the story or anything when I couldn't stream. So I had gotten a few light hides. And then when I picked up, what was it, woodsman or woodworker? No, it's basically a lumberjack, right? It's like woodsman, I think, or forestry, something like that. I was able to pick up this profession that's sort of like a gathering profession that allows me to go chop down trees, I guess, and then I can make various wood, and then I'm also able to take the leather I have and make it into like brushed light leather, which is what my recipes needed. So that was cool. I was able to make, I think, four upgrades like right off the bat, and they were decent upgrades. They gave me much more armor. They increased my stats, so I'm more effective. I heal more. I think I do a tiny bit more damage. So noticeable upgrades, and those felt good, and I need those, especially when I'm playing on the higher difficulty. So already I'm feeling much more engaged with the game, and I'm excited to get back into it. But yeah, that's the quick rundown of day 3. I did a little bit of main story questing, not much. I went to the armory. I ran around, killed some goblins and stuff, found a dour hand corpse, I think. And then I haven't even turned in the one where I have to go talk to Dwalin again because I got sidetracked crafting and stuff, and that's cool. And I liked the crafting system because I'm kind of relieved that it's similar to World of Warcraft, to where it's like, oh, you get the resources, you click the button to make the thing, and then you just got to wait for the bar to go across, and then you're good. Because Final Fantasy XIV has a very different crafting system, and honestly, it's one of the most unique ones I've ever seen. And at first, I really, really loved it. Basically, crafters have like their own rotations. Like, you have to hit your abilities and stuff like that. There's basically 3 bars you have to manage. There's like the condition of the thing you're making. There's the quality of it, and then there's the progress of it. So you want to try to get the quality up as high as you can and complete it before your condition falls below, because then you'll just waste the craft. So it was really interesting starting out, but once I had max level crafters, and it's a lot to do. And what ends up happening is you don't actually do your rotation anymore. You usually just end up making macros, which in Final Fantasy XIV, you can just program commands, and then you can have up to like 15 lines in a single macro. And so between each action, there's usually a 2 to 3 second global cooldown delay. And so every macro would usually require one, like every craft would usually require 1 or 2 macros unless you invested a lot of time in gearing your character and doing this whole process called materia, which is like the biggest waste I've ever seen. It's a lot to be a high-end crafter. It's a lot. But if you just want to be average, you're going to end up having longer macros. And so for most of this stuff to craft in Final Fantasy 14, it's usually takes me two macros. So one 15-line macro to do all this stuff, and then there's usually one that's like 3 to 7 other lines to finish it. So you're looking at, let's say, 18 to 23 lines, like actions to be run, and at 2 to 3 seconds per action, mostly 3. I usually have it bumped up to 4 because my latency used to be super bad. So sometimes if you would miss a craft, if it wasn't ready yet, it'd be a nightmare. So I had mine all cranked up to 4. So yeah, like, so let's say best case, 18 times 4. That's how many seconds it would be per craft. And that's not like per big item, like I'm making a weapon. Like, those are usually a little longer. That was like per material that's used in an item to get it high quality. Because if you get things high quality, it's better. Your armor's gives you more stats. Your weapon does more damage. Like, it's, even though it's the same item level, gives you more stuff. So I was kind of relieved that the crafting in this so far is just as simple as get the materials and then click craft. It's been a nice change. I don't know which way I prefer currently. I know early on the feeling of the crafting in Final Fantasy 14 was amazing, and then late game it's mostly just hitting macros and going AFK all day, which is not really engaging gameplay. So I don't know. I'm having a blast. There's still some things I do like about Final Fantasy 14 crafting, so it's not just me shitting all over it, but this is how I feel at the moment about it. So either way, it felt good to just quickly craft a few upgrades, instantly be able to equip them, even though it looks worse than what I had. The cosmetic system took over for that, and I did figure that out after the stream. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm planning on streaming some more. By the time this is uploaded, I'll probably have already streamed again, and I'll be working on day 4. So yeah, at this point, I'm basically streaming whenever I feel like playing the game, which is usually, I want to play it a lot right now, but I'm usually busy during the day. So on the weekends, I got my boys. So on the weekends, I stream later in the night if I do stream. And then during the weekday, depending on how work goes, I might not even feel like I'm up to being in front of a camera. So that's how we're doing it right now. I'm kind of breaking new ground with this whole streaming thing. I haven't really done it before. I've done a few test streams here and there just to see if my connection could handle it, but it's fun. I'm enjoying myself, even though I don't, like last night, I didn't see anybody in the chat, which is fine. I was still having a good time. So that's good. But anyway, if you want, stop on by. If not, just keep enjoying my retelling of my adventures. And I will see you in whatever video or live stream I make next.